Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Bus, Mark Johnson here. Training Camp 2025, getting ready for Georgia Tech coming up here at the end of the month. Offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur joining us. All right, 4 days in. What are you saying right now after playing with your guys?
We're stacking days,
yeah.
and they're very competitive. By the way, you're off IR, which is good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm moving around.
You're doing great.
Still not ready to play for you, but I'm moving around.
Baby steps, right?
That's right. That's right.
But 4 days into it, it's very competitive. We're heavy into the install phase of things.
Yeah.
So as you know, you install and then you go practice, and the next day you put a new install in, so you got to go back and review. And so it's a mental challenge for our players, and then obviously the practice is physical. I think the competition's been good.
Mm-hmm.
I see some better players in some of the spots where we were weak a year ago, and I think that's going to help, especially up front. And so we'll see how it reveals itself when we play the first game, but I feel like we're on the right track.
But how do you balance physicality, getting yourself ready, but yet maintaining health? How do you balance it?
Well, you have to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it all the time, and I come from a world in the NFL where you are getting as much as you can out of each practice to a physical point. But there's things you can't do.
Yeah.
Like you can't be on the ground. There's injuries on the ground. You have to be smart. If a ball goes up on a receiver and he's exposed to a hit that might be a bad one in the game, the defender's got to pull off, right? We can't do any kind of devastating dynamic blocks on somebody. So we have to be smart. But when there's hand-to-hand combat and that, they got to get after it.
Yeah.
And I think so. The physicality, right? The normal, playing of the game of football, but then also be smart.
The last couple of years, every time Pat and I would talk about offense, at some point he'd say something about that heroic son of a gun at quarterback, because he always made plays, right? You don't have that guy out there. You got Caden Salter, you got Juju Lewis, you got others. To talk about the quarterback situation.
Yeah, I feel like we got two really good. I really feel like we got three guys. Let's not forget to talk about Ryan.
That's right.
Because Ryan made a decision that he wants to be here and learn, and we were just thrilled he's here. But Caden and Juju are two players that are pretty heralded, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember Juju's 17 years old.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't know if I could have handled this as a 17-year-old.
I know I
just
could've.
thinking back to where, we got some really young people out there doing wonderful things. And then Caden, more experienced, more mature, probably, obviously it's been written about and talked about, more dynamic as a runner.
Mm-hmm.
So two guys that really can execute our passing offense, and then some of them have dimensions that might reveal itself in other ways.
Juju being 17, he doesn't turn 18 until the end of September here.
Right.
Do you have to spoon feed him, or at this level, if you're going to jump in the deep end of the pool, you better swim, right?
Yeah, no, we teach him what we need to teach him to play. He got to learn it, right?
Yeah.
This is cloud. This is free access. This is bump and run. This is your matchup, right? These are the numbers to run the ball here or there, all right? This is the progression. We're either sweeping the board or picking a side, or there's an alert and a triangle. So he's got to learn it like Andy Reid's teaching Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
You go back to square one. Now, Caden's going back to square one probably 5 times, more than Juju is.
Yeah.
But Juju's at square one moving forward, and he just got to learn as much as he can. And then the key as a coach then is, and we did it last year, right? Or I feel like I did it last year, is you determine what your players are good at, and when it becomes time to play the game, you do those things, right? I mean, from my former life, if somebody would have said, you're going to be in 10 personnel, only a few plays less than Hawaii, they would have said, wait a minute, who is that guy?
Exactly.
But I think that's what you do as a coach.
Yeah.
You try to utilize what you have, and you just try to find a way, running or passing, to move the ball and get it in the end zone.
A few weeks ago, you and I were chatting, and I asked you about the offensive line. You said, I think we're a lot better up there. A few days into practice. You like what you're seeing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think better Buffaloes make better players.
That's right.
And I feel like from a person standpoint and a talent standpoint, let's remember this too. Our most effective lineman a year ago was Jordan Seaton, who was basically Juju.
That's right.
Okay. Now those other guys, for whatever reasons, are not here, and we've had to go out, and our personnel guys have done a great job of getting guys. But I really like those other spots and the players that are going to play them. And so, now what we think they are, they're going to go out and do it. And at least in the first 4 practices, there's indications that we're going to be able to control the line of scrimmage better. So obviously the runs look better, and then the quarterback's protected better.
Right. Lastly, here you mentioned Jordan Seaton. Holy cow, has his body changed?
Looks good, doesn't he?
My goodness.
Yeah, yeah. So you can see the word development doesn't appear in college football as much as it used to, right? Well, to his credit, I mean, he truly tried to develop his body in the offseason. So the baby fat, right? He just looks way different, right? I mean, he looks fitter to me.
Yep.
He's obviously stronger by the numbers. He's worked extremely hard, and he's always been able to move around well. So I think it's going to serve him well.
I think so. You know, that test with Georgia Tech will be here before you know it.
I know, and that's a good football team.
Yes, it is.
So we're not sleeping on that, trust me.
No, they're busy. Fall camp underway right now. That's Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator. Before you know it, Georgia Tech's going to be in town.